Your grandfather bought a 4-bedroom house, 2 cars, and raised 3 kids on a single income from a basic factory job. You have a degree, work 50 hours a week, and still have to split rent with 2 roommates just to afford groceries. The lie you've been fed since kindergarten, that putting your head down and grinding equals success, is the greatest financial scam of our generation. The rules of the wealth game changed completely while you were busy working hard. Stop breaking your back for a system that actively punishes your effort, and listen to exactly why the grind is keeping you broke. Fact 1. The loyalty penalty is destroying your income because corporate budgets prioritize acquiring new talent over retaining old talent. If you stay at a company for 5 years, you might get a 3% annual raise, but a new hire off the street gets a 15% market premium. You literally end up training someone who makes more money than you. To bypass this, treat jobs like stepping stones and job hop every 2 to 3 years to force a market rate salary adjustment. Fact 2. The ultimate reward for hard work is just more work, because managers will always offload tasks onto their most efficient employees. If you finish your project by Wednesday, your boss won't send you home early. They will give you the slackers, unfinished work. You are subsidizing lazy co-workers with your energy. Bypass this by managing expectations. Do excellent work, but artificially pace your delivery so you never become the office dumping ground. Fact 3. Wages have completely decoupled from productivity because technology made you faster, but the owners kept the profit. Since the 1970s, worker productivity has skyrocketed by nearly 60%, but wages have barely moved when adjusted for inflation. You are producing more value in an hour than your parents did in a day, but getting paid less for it. Bypass this by working for equity, commissions, or starting a side business where you actually capture the value of your efficiency. Fact 4. Earned income is the highest taxed money on the planet because the government targets labor, not capital. When you work a W-2 job, the IRS takes their 30% cut before you even see the paycheck, leaving you with the scraps. A billionaire pays a lower percentage on their investments than a nurse pays on her salary. To bypass this, you must transition your income from a salary to a business entity or investments, where you can deduct expenses before paying taxes. Fact 5. Inflation is compounding faster than your promotions, meaning your hard work is literally melting in the bank. If you get a 4% raise for outstanding performance, but groceries and rent went up 8%, you just took a 4% pay cut for working harder. You are running on a treadmill that keeps speeding up. Bypass this by negotiating raises based on inflation metrics, not just performance, or by holding assets that inflate with the market. Have you ever been punished with more work just because you finished your tasks early? Let me know in the comments. If you are tired of playing a rigged game and want to learn how to actually build wealth instead of just trading time for pennies, hit that like button and subscribe right now. We are exposing the whole system. Fact 6. Cost of living adjustments are statistically manipulated to keep your pay low because the official inflation rate excludes the things that hurt the most, like housing and energy spikes. The company tells you inflation is only 3%, but your rent just jumped by $300 a month. They use fake math to justify your poverty. Bypass this by tracking your personal inflation rate and presenting your own expense spreadsheet during your salary review. Fact 7. Hard work does not scale because your time is strictly finite, meaning your income has a hard mathematical ceiling. A brilliant mechanic working 14 hours a day will eventually collapse, but the owner of the garage makes money while he sleeps. You can't outwork the clock. Bypass this by shifting your focus from working hard to building leverage, like creating digital products, content, or hiring others. Fact 8. Networking is significantly more profitable than a strong work ethic because humans hire people they like, not the most qualified robot. You can be the hardest working analyst in the building, but the guy who plays golf with the VP will get the promotion. Meritocracy is a myth sold to the working class. Bypass this by spending 20% of your work week purely on building relationships and internal visibility instead of just grinding at your desk. Fact 9. Degrees have become depreciating assets because the market is flooded with graduates, making a bachelor's degree the new high school diploma. You grinded for 4 years and took on massive debt, only to be offered an entry-level job paying $40,000 that requires 5 years of experience. It's an impossible math equation. Bypass this by ignoring traditional degrees and acquiring highly specific, hard-to-find technical skills or certifications that businesses are desperate for. Fact 10. The gig economy sold you freedom, but actually just stripped away your benefits and shifted the business risk onto your shoulders. Driving for an app feels like hustling, But once you factor in gas, depreciation, and self-employment taxes, you are making less than minimum wage. You are wearing out your own car to make a tech CEO richer. Bypass this by using gig work strictly as a temporary bridge, never as a long-term strategy. Do you think college is still worth the debt, or is it a complete scam? Drop your honest opinion below. Fact 11. Unpaid overtime is the biggest form of theft in the modern economy, because salaried workers are culturally guilt-tripped into working nights and weekends. Answering emails at 9 p.m. on a Tuesday isn't hustle, it's wage theft by your employer. If your salary is $60,000 for 40 hours, working 60 hours drops your hourly rate to poverty levels. Bypass this by setting rigid boundaries on your phone and logging off at 5 p.m. on the dot. Fact 12. Middle management bloat means your hard work goes to paying the salaries of people who do nothing but schedule meetings. You are the one coding, designing, or building, but there are 4 layers of bosses above you who take the credit and the bonuses. You are lifting the dead weight of corporate bureaucracy. Bypass this by moving to lean startups or working as an independent contractor, where you interact directly with the decision makers. Fact 13. Burnout is treated as a badge of honor by corporate culture to manipulate you into sacrificing your health for their profit. They give you a Hustler of the Month plastic trophy, while your cortisol levels give you an ulcer. You are trading your physical health for a company that would replace you by Friday if you died on Wednesday. Bypass this by prioritizing your sleep and health as non-negotiable boundaries that no boss can touch. Fact 14. Commuting is stolen, uncompensated time that completely destroys the value of your paycheck. If you drive an hour each way, you are adding 10 hours of unpaid labor to your week, plus the cost of gas and vehicle wear. A job paying $25 an hour quickly becomes $18 an hour when you factor in the commute. Bypass this by aggressively negotiating for hybrid or remote work, or finding a job closer to home even if the base pay is slightly lower. Fact 15. Human resources works exclusively to protect the company from liability, not to reward your hard work or protect you from a toxic boss. If you go to HR because you are overworked and underpaid, they don't see a cry for help, they see a flight risk. They will start quietly looking for your replacement. Bypass this by understanding HR is not your therapist. Negotiate your working conditions directly with your manager or leave. What is the most ridiculous excuse a boss has ever given you to deny a raise? Vent in the comments, I read all of them. Fact 16. The side hustle culture is a toxic symptom of a broken economy because one full-time job should be enough to survive. Society convinced you that you need to monetize your hobbies and work 80 hours a week just to afford a vacation. Your weekend is supposed to be for rest, not for driving strangers to the airport. Bypass this by focusing intensely on increasing the income of your primary skill during business hours, rather than burning out on 3 low-paying side gigs. Fact 17. Benefits are constantly shrinking, meaning your total compensation is going down even if your salary stays the same. The company might give you a small raise, but they switch to a worse healthcare plan with a massive deductible, wiping out your gains instantly. You are working harder just to maintain basic medical coverage. Bypass this by calculating the exact dollar value of your benefits package and using it as leverage when negotiating at a new company. Fact 18. Nepotism and favoritism will always beat your flawless resume because humans are inherently tribal. You can work late every night for a year, and the boss's incompetent nephew will still get the director title. Hard work cannot defeat bloodlines or buddy systems. Bypass this by building your own network of advocates, or leave companies that promote based on last names rather than scorecards. Fact 19. Performance reviews are often rigged to fit a bell curve, meaning your hard work literally cannot be recognized if the quota for top performers is already full. You could have a flawless year, but HR tells your boss they can only give out 2 excellent ratings, so you get a satisfactory and a 1% raise. It's a rigged casino. Bypass this by demanding specific, measurable KPIs in writing at the start of the year, so they cannot subjectively downgrade your performance. Fact 20. Job titles are being inflated instead of paychecks to stroke your ego while keeping you broke. They will promote you from associate to vice president of first impressions and give you $0 extra, hoping the prestige keeps you quiet. A fancy title doesn't pay the rent. Bypass this by refusing title promotions that don't come with a minimum 10% salary bump. Have you ever been forced to train a new employee who was making more money than you? Say yes in the comments if you feel that pain. Fact 21. Retirement ages keep moving higher because the financial system relies on you working until your body gives out. The goalpost is constantly being pushed back, meaning the golden years you are grinding for might not exist by the time you get there. You are working hard for a finish line that is running away from you. Bypass this by adopting the FIRE movement mentality: financial independence, retire early, and investing aggressively so you choose your own retirement date. Fact 22. Algorithmic management is turning hard work into a dystopian nightmare where you are fired by a computer program for taking too long in the bathroom. Warehouse workers and delivery drivers are tracked to the exact second, squeezing every drop of humanity out of the shift. You cannot outwork an algorithm designed to break you. Bypass this by escaping industries that use biometric tracking and skilling up into creative or strategic roles that I cannot easily measure. Fact 23. The subscription economy is silently draining your raises before you even feel them. You work hard to earn an extra $100 a month, but everything from software to car heated seats is now a monthly fee, eating up your surplus. The modern economy is designed to keep your bank account at exactly zero. Bypass this by ruthlessly auditing your bank statements and buying physical tools or software lifetime licenses whenever possible. Fact 24. The cost of just showing up to a corporate job wipes out a massive chunk of your hard-earned money. You have to buy business clothes, pay for dry cleaning, buy overpriced lunches, and pay for parking just for the privilege of working. It's an invisible tax on your labor. Bypass this by packing lunches, buying second-hand professional gear, and fighting for remote days to drastically lower your cost of working. Fact 25. Soft skills completely overshadow hard deliverables in the corporate world, meaning the best talker wins, not the hardest worker. The guy who does 20% of the work but knows how to present it beautifully in a PowerPoint will always beat the guy who did 80% of the work in the shadows. Bypass this by stopping your silent grinding. Spend time learning public speaking and aggressively claiming credit for your work in meetings. Has a sudden medical bill or emergency ever completely wiped out your savings? Share your story below. Fact 26. Healthcare costs are rising so fast, they are completely neutralizing any wage gains you achieve through hard work. You finally get a promotion, and the next month your insurance premiums jump, or a single emergency room visit puts you in debt for 5 years. Your hard work is just feeding the medical industrial complex. Bypass this by utilizing health savings accounts, HSAs, to invest medical funds tax-free and protect your wealth. Fact 27. Asset inflation means that saving your hard-earned cash is a mathematical guarantee of poverty. You work hard, save $10,000, and keep it in the bank, but the cost of a house goes up by $50,000 in the same year. You are saving linearly, while the world is getting more expensive exponentially. Bypass this by forcing your money to work as hard as you do. Buy index funds, real estate, or hard assets immediately. Fact 28. Companies use unlimited PTO as a psychological trick to make you work more and take less time off. Because there is no accrued balance, employees feel guilty taking vacation, and when you quit, the company doesn't have to pay out any unused days. It is a scam designed to exploit your work ethic. Bypass this by aggressively taking a minimum of 4 weeks off a year and actively scheduling it in January. Fact 29. You are penalized for being a generalist who works hard at everything, while specialists get paid a premium. The person who stays late to help every department is viewed as a utility player, but the person who masters one highly complex software is deemed irreplaceable. Bypass this by picking a niche and becoming undeniably great at one specific thing, rather than being a hard-working jack of all trades. Fact 30. Capital will always earn money faster than labor ever can, which is the ultimate reason hard work is failing you. $1 million sitting in a 5% index fund generates $50,000 a year doing absolutely nothing. To make that same $50,000, you have to trade a year of your life, your sweat, and your stress. Bypass this by realizing that your ultimate goal isn't to be a great employee. Your goal is to acquire enough capital so that your money replaces your labor. You cannot outwork a broken system. If you are just trading your time for money without a plan to buy assets, build leverage, and protect your energy, you will be grinding until the day you die. Hard work only pays off when it's pointed in the right direction. If this video opened your eyes, you need to watch our video on the 30 harsh truths about living paycheck to paycheck to see exactly how the trap is set. Thank you for watching. Stop grinding blindly, and I'll see you in the next one.